the gossip, so if anyone asks you, you ain't heard it from me. No, you haven't.
Today I wanted to talk about Gayle King and Oprah Winfrey. This is simply my thoughts and my opinion on Gayle King and Oprah. Also, we're going to be discussing Meek Mill and Nicki Minaj. And we will also be discussing some things about Bill Cosby that I feel like we should discuss because he does play a key role in this Oprah Winfrey and Gayle King thing that they have going on in the media today. So, if you guys didn't know, Gayle King has definitely been in the media. She first started appearing in the media heavily last year in 2019 when she did a few live videos with a few people, and then what got the black community to really just notice what Gayle King was doing is when she decided to do the live interview with R. Kelly, and then she turned around and did an interview with the alleged two victims of R. Kelly, Azriel Clary and Jocelyn Savage. So earlier last year, around March, I seen that on the internet it said that Gayle King's contract with CBS was up at the end of 2019, and the owner of CBS was thinking about re-signing Gayle King, and she was currently making 5.5 million at CBS. So whenever Gayle King she got re-signed, she got a big pay raise basically. Hence is why she was doing all of these live interviews with people like R. Kelly. She talked about Bill Cosby, and now you can see that she's talking about Kobe Bryant and allegedly trying to tarnish Kobe Bryant's legacy. And as we know, Gayle King and Oprah Winfrey aren't for the black community at all. They aren't about helping the black community progress, especially some of the black men. As you can see, Oprah, she has went and tried to tarnish Michael Jackson's name. Gayle King, she has tried to tarnish Kobe's legacy. She also played a part in the reason why Bill Cosby was convicted, because she did talk about this. And so anytime someone like Gayle King is on a big platform like CBS, most people are watching CBS, hence most people watch most of the news. Instead of getting their news from like YouTube or something like that, they will watch their local TV station, they will watch CBS so that they can get information about what's going on in the world, which we all know that the news isn't accurate at all when they talk about certain things. As you know, just like any other media outlet, the news has to always put their narrative on certain things and make it sound like what they're talking about is credible. So, as I was saying about Oprah and Gayle, they aren't here to try to make the black community better. What they're basically doing is tarnishing most of these people's legacy, and I guarantee you that something else is going to happen to a well-known black man, and Gayle and Oprah, they're going to be totally behind it. They're going to speak about it, especially Gayle, because as we know, it's her job to talk about certain things. But not saying that she does not have to talk about some of the things that goes on, but she should do it in a more respectful manner, because as you can see in the interview with the lady who is Kobe Bryant's friend, she tried to pressure this lady into saying something about Kobe that wasn't true. This lady, she just basically kept saying that no, Kobe's a good person. Kobe was acquitted of all those charges. Kobe was never found guilty of any of those charges. So basically, why sit here and talk about it? And so that was the reason why Snoop Dogg basically came out and decided to say what he said about Gayle King and Oprah, because he, like us, noticed that Gayle was trying to pressure this lady into saying something about Kobe that wasn't true, something that he was acquitted of and he was never found guilty of. And instead of her remembering Kobe's good times, she wanted to bring up the bad times about Kobe. Not saying that she couldn't, but why wait until Kobe dies to basically try to tarnish this man's legacy when there's plenty of pictures of Gayle being in Kobe's space, and there was plenty of opportunities for Gil to do a story on Kobe when he was alive to talk about his legacy and what happened with his previous court case in the past that he was acquitted of and that he was not found guilty of. A lot of people have been watching Oprah for years. Oprah had one of the best television shows. Um, on the network for years, and then after she stopped doing her show, then there were people like Wendy Williams, Ellen DeGeneres, Tyra Banks, the Montel Williams show. The people who were viewing Oprah's show then went on to view other people's shows, which is why many other people are able to have such big platforms as they do now. Like, for instance, when Steve Harvey, he had a really big following. Tyra Banks, she definitely had a good show. Montel Williams, he definitely had a good show. And so the list goes on. But we've never seen Oprah talk about something that was beneficial to the black men in the community. Instead, now what she's doing, now that she doesn't have this talk show anymore, she's doing things to bring down people's legacy. Not saying that her and Gayle cannot talk about certain things, it's just how you talk about certain things. And we have this culture called the cancel culture now where everybody is getting canceled. I feel as though Oprah and Gayle should be canceled. I mean, what are they contributing to our society as a whole? Like, you guys are just basically tarnishing people's brand. And if no one's going to put a stop to it, then it's just going to continue to happen. Like, for instance, Oprah, she basically did a talk show this morning. I forgot the name of the talk show, but I know Bill Clinton's daughter, she's one of the hosts on the talk show. And you never really see Oprah go on different talk shows and speak. But today, this particular day, she decided to talk to Bill Clinton's daughter and the other panel host about Gayle King. And she was basically saying that Gayle King, she was scared and that she had been getting death threats ever since ever since everyone saw the interview that she did about Kobe Bryant. Then Oprah went on to say that Gayle, she's really shaken up and that she has bodyguards, and that she basically didn't mention anything about Kobe's legacy. She didn't speak on the Snoop Dogg situation, but what she immediately jumped into was the whole Bill Cosby thing and how Bill Cosby tweeted and cheered Snoop Dogg on for what he had to say about Gayle King. And so what Bill Cosby basically said was that black women were tarnishing and tearing down the black man. And my thing is, why would Oprah go to an all-white show to discuss things that are happening in the black community when you could have went to Fox Soul, one of the new black shows that are happening now that Fox are giving to black people? You could have went on one of those shows to basically talk about the black situation in the black community. Why go to an all white show and talk about things that are happening in the black community? Which on the white show, she didn't say anything about the black community, but she really did put emphasis that Gayle has security and she can't go anywhere. And anytime Gayle has to go somewhere now for her safety, she has to have security. And so I think she made this point to say that Gayle has security because we all know after Snoop Dogg said what he had to say to Gayle, he basically said, "We're coming for you." And so that's the reason why Oprah basically said that Gayle now has security. But I'm curious to know why she didn't talk about Kobe, and if she's speaking for Gayle King, why didn't you basically talk about the issues that the black community is having with Gayle and what she said about Kobe and trying to get the lady to basically say something negative and pressure her about Kobe Bryant and his past rape allegations. Why didn't Oprah say anything towards the black community on Gayle's behalf if she's coming on an all white show to speak about Gayle anyways? And the last thing for me, guys, on this whole situation is why did Oprah feel the need to basically point out that Bill Cosby, someone who is locked up behind bars, to say that he's tweeting from behind bars supporting Snoop Dogg as if Bill Cosby can't support Snoop Dogg? I mean, we all see what people did to Bill Cosby. Not saying that Bill Cosby was innocent, but because Bill Cosby had no support, some of those allegations that one lady, Janice Dickinson, the model, she even said that she lied about her allegations towards Bill Cosby after Bill Cosby was locked up. So we all know that some of the things that people were saying about Bill Cosby weren't true, and the black community didn't stand up for Bill Cosby like some people initially hoped that the black community would. So that's the reason why Bill Cosby, he basically tweeted out that black women weren't supporting black men and basically being the demise of black men. And so you guys, we definitely need to cancel Gayle King and Oprah because this isn't going to stop. We definitely need to make an example out of these two ladies because if you're not beneficial, you're definitely artificial. And Gayle King and Oprah, they have had their time. They have made millions of dollars off the backs of black people. So they're in a different tax bracket than majority of us. So they're not thinking like us. They're not thinking like people who have to endure things that comes with being an African American or being considered black. So you guys let me know what you think about Gayle and Oprah down in my comment section below. And now we're going to move on to Nicki Minaj and Meek Mill and their whole Twitter feud. So I know all of you guys definitely did tune into the drama and beef between Meek Mill and Nicki Minaj, as I can say it was entertaining at the least. But in my opinion, you guys know I'm definitely going to give my opinion on this situation. I feel as though Nicki and Meek Mill should definitely keep this beef off of the internet, off of Twitter. They should have definitely hit each other one on one and discussed how they were feeling because it just seems very petty of Meek Mill and Nicki Minaj. It seems as though they both have moved on to different people. Meek's having a baby, and Nicki, she's allegedly married to Kenneth, which makes her Miss Petty. So I guess she felt the need to basically come onto Twitter and address Meek Mill because when Nicki and Kenneth announced that they were in a relationship together, and Nicki was seen all over the internet with Kenneth, and then things about Kenneth's past definitely came into question, and people were talking about his past and his past allegations. And so a lot of people did see Meek Mill liking shady comments about Nicki Minaj's husband, and I guess Nicki Minaj, she just had enough of Meek Mill liking shady posts because I feel as though she wasn't going to address the situation in the past. But basically, she probably seen something that Meek Mill liked and decided to go ahead and just say that she had time to beef with Meek Mill today and basically put everything that she was feeling out in the forefront. So Nicki decided to call Meek out about liking shady comments and posts about her husband. And we all know that Nicki and Meek was seen getting into it and having an argument in one of the malls. And so they ran into each other. Nicki and Meek had words, and Meek and Kenneth had words with each other about something which no one really knows the true reason behind the whole shouting match that Nicki, Kenneth, and Meek decided to have in the mall. But fast forward till a few days ago they decided to go against each other on Twitter, and Meek said some nasty things to Nicki, and Nicki, she said some nasty things to Meek. Meek basically talked about her brother's RAPE allegations and how he's in jail for life behind it. And Meek basically said that Nicki Minaj knew about the RAPE the whole time. And then Nicki went on to tell Meek that he needs to not talk about her brother's RAPE situation because he has a situation of his own, basically a situation of putting his hands on women. So she said that Meek allegedly put pause on her during their relationship. I don't know when or around what time Meek decided to start putting his hands on Nicki Minaj, but she definitely went there and said that he is a woman abuser, basically. And there were some pictures that surfaced of Nicki Minaj. So these pictures of Nicki was when her and Meek were together. She basically was seen with shades on, trying to cover her face, and on her cheeks, it looked like she had a bruise and her cheeks was very red. But on their Twitter beef, she went on to say that basically Meek kicked her in front of her mother and also hit his sister as well. So basically, not saying that he abused her, but also he was abusive towards his family as well, his sister. So, what do you guys think about this whole Nicki Minaj and Meek Mill situation? I personally feel as if though these two people aren't mature enough to sit down and communicate with one another, which we all know this, but at the same time, this isn't a reason to take you guys' personal information and put it on the internet. It just basically makes both of them look stupid, in my opinion. And third of all, we all know that Meek and Nicki are going to use this clout to both of their advantages. As you guys can see, Meek said he was dropping a single. Nicki, she dropped her single called Yikes, and it's an alleged diss track to Meek Mill because at the end of her song, she talks about something that Moneybagg Yo said about Meek Mill, where he referenced that Meek Mill, he likes shady comments and posts about certain people in the industry, but then when he sees these people in the industry, he basically laughing with these people as if he didn't like shady tweets and shady comments on Instagram about these certain people. Meek is having a baby, and I feel as if though you have a woman, even though this woman, she knew you whenever Nicki and you were dating, you still should be more respectful. Instead of responding to Nicki Minaj's tweets, you should have had more respect for your lady and not do that and basically publicly humiliate her because you responded back to Nicki, and Nicki said the same thing, like your girl should be embarrassed because you're with her and you're having a baby, but you still found time to entertain what I was saying on the internet. And Nicki Minaj, for her to say that to Meek Mill, I just feel like she can't be giving him advice on him having time to retweet back to her when he has a girlfriend. When she has a whole husband, you shouldn't even be addressing anything from you and Meek Mill's past on the internet anyways. I feel like you guys should have enough respect for yourselves to basically meet in person or text each other or talk on the phone about the situation, or even go see a therapist and talk about how you guys both can move forward, because it seems as neither one of you guys are moving forward with your lives. Even though Meek is having a baby and Nicki has a husband now, it just seems like they're still stuck in the past when all of the fans, everybody else has basically moved on. We're here to see basically what Meek is going to do in the future, how his new baby's going to look. We're here to see if Nicki Minaj and her husband is going to start a family. That's basically what the fans are wanting to see. We're not here for all of the old beef. I mean, like, they should have addressed it back then. Now it's years later, and they're just saying stuff that basically we really already knew about. We knew their relationship was toxic because her and Drake stopped talking, all because her and Meek were now in a relationship. I mean, we definitely all knew about the situation. But I am a huge Nicki Minaj fan, like, definitely a diehard Nicki Minaj fan, but at the same time, I'm not a hardcore fan to where I can't see what she's doing is wrong. I mean, if you're right, you're right. If you're wrong, you're wrong. And I'm definitely going to state my opinion. I'm not going to just be the type of person because I like you, I'm just going to side with everything you're saying. No, I'm going to tell you when you're right, and I'm going to tell you when you're wrong. This whole situation is definitely crazy. I want you guys to let me know what you think about Oprah and Gayle down in my comment section below. Don't forget to talk about Meek Mill and Nicki Minaj and their whole crazy situation down in my comment section below. Don't forget to like my videos, share my videos, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more royalty. And I'll definitely see you guys in my next video. Bye.